Hey guys, it's Surgeon here, and welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about a few bosses that are good to kill at a lower level in case you want to start getting into PVM. Maybe you just really want to start killing some, bosses and get the potential of having that thrill of getting a really rare drop, whether it's a pet or a really expensive item. So in this video, I'm not going to be talking about specific strategies necessarily to kill these bosses. I'm simply talking about these bosses as if you want to start getting into PVM at a lower level, these would be some really good bosses to choose from. So I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. If you do enjoy the video, give it a like. If you want to see more content from the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to let me know what you thought about the video, comment section below, and links to all my social media and stuff will be in the description. Let's go kill some stuff. So the first boss we're going to talk about on this list would be just Dagganoth Rex in general. Now Dagganoth Rex is one of the Dagganoth Kings, and the Dagganoth Kings themselves are actually... You need higher combat levels in order to tri-breed all of them by yourself to solo them. But if you're just going to solo Rex, it's very simple. You can do it at a very low magic level. I mean, if you have Ivan's Blast, you can pretty much do it. So you can do it at like 55 magic. Granted, the higher defense you have, the longer you're going to be able to stay, because you will be taking damage from other sources, just not the actual kings themselves if you do this properly. Now, I'm not going to be going into detail about how to actually kill this boss. I'm simply just kind of in the background. You'll see me running there. If you're looking for an actual guide on how to do Dagganoth Rex, solo Dagganoth Rex, or Dagganoth Kings in general, I will be making a guide for that eventually, but I currently don't have one. There are plenty of them out there, so go ahead and search that. The only thing I will say is that once you've done the Fremennik Trials quest, you will be able to get a pet rock from, I don't know how to say his name, is like Ascadalian or whatever, Ascaladin, I don't know. But you can get a pet rock from him, and that allows you to actually open up the doors in the Waterbirth dungeon by yourself instead of having to get someone else to open it for you. So you can get a pet rock and then drop it on one of the pressure plates to act as if someone was standing there, so you don't have to have a partner to actually open up the doors anymore. And the other thing I'll say is to make sure you have a ruined throne axe, so you can actually open up the doors to climb down the ladder to actually go into the maze. Now there's plenty of guides for the maze out there. Just go ahead and pull one up on the wiki. I'll have a link for one down in the description, but I'll also have it up in the background so you can watch me go through it as well. I won't be walking you through it, but that's how you get there. And then the difficult part to all this, really the most difficult part to soloing Rex, is getting him into the safe spot without aggroing either Dagganoth Supreme or Dagganoth Prime. And the way you do that, and you'll see me do this, is I'll actually climb in and climb up. I'll basically climb down and climb up the ladder until I can run around the side of the Dagganoth King's dungeon without aggroing either one of them. Now, this will take time and it will get a little bit frustrating. I actually got pretty fortunate in how many times it took for me to get it. But it's probably the most difficult part of the entire soloing process. Once you actually get to the point where you're basically safe spawning Dagganoth Rex and neither of the other two are on you, you can basically stay there forever if you have like Guthans. If you have Guthans, you can just heal off of the little spinelips around the area. I mean, you can basically stay there forever. Some of the notable drops from this guy that you can get a Berserker Ring. Obviously, that's the big ticket item. It's a little over 2 mil, almost 3 mil. And that's going to be your big ticket item. Obviously, he does drop, Dagganoth Bones every kill, which is like 11k. So it's a good thing to fill your inventory with if you haven't done the Elite Diaries. If you're about to end a trip, you can just fill it up with Dagganoth Bones. He also drops the Dragon Axe. Does have the chance to drop the Dagganoth Rex pet. So if you're fortunate enough and you're trying to hunt that, there's that as well. But all in all, it's just a very good kind of introductory PVM. Like if you're just looking to get into a little bit of bossing, does not require very high stats at all. You just need 55 magic and like 43 prayer, and you can pretty much do this. It does not require very high stats, and it gets you kind of a good introduction for understanding how aggro works, because like you'll see, I do have to climb in and out until I don't get aggro from two of the bosses. And it also helps you learn how to set up lures, how to set up safe spots, and it teaches you how to basically use Guthans and heal up while you're in an actual boss room. So there's that. It teaches you a few things. Again, not the most difficult boss, but it is definitely a boss that a lot of people do when they're starting off doing PVM because of the simplicity and basically the ease of access to this boss. All right, the next quote-unquote boss I want to talk about is Barrows. I've talked about Barrows quite a bit. It's a very low-level moneymaker, very low-level kind of bossing area. Does not take a lot to get used to. I've done a Barrows guide. I'll have a link for that in the description if you're interested. But it's a very good introduction to PVM. I've talked about it a lot. There's a lot of things it teaches you. But one, it basically teaches you like how to identify what to pray against, or even how to pray flick. Like you can mess around with that. But yeah, to be honest, it's just kind of a fun way, good way to train up your training if you actually are just bored of training and want to go start PVMing. Again, the entire purpose of this video is just to give people who are lower levels, like you don't have to have, level 90 melee stats or level 90 range stats to go do bossing. Like at level 55 magic or level 60 magic, you can go do Barrows and have some fun, have a chance and get that kind of thrill of getting like a really rare drop of something worth 2 or 3 mil. It's just kind of like a nice little hype thing, to be honest. It's not necessarily the most efficient way to do it at those levels, but you know what? It's fun. So I have a Barrows guide in the description, obviously. So if you're interested in that and you want to try Barrows out, not difficult. I would definitely recommend doing it as a lower level. I'm pretty sure that I did it from like level 55 magic to like 72 magic, I think. So it's what I did for a very long time, and I enjoyed it, and it's still one of my favorite bosses to do to this day because of like the amount of memories I had, and it's very nostalgic for me. So Barrows definitely number 2 on this list. I had to throw it in there. I talked about it a lot, but Barrows is just something that I enjoy doing, and I know a lot of people in my CC have made a decent amount of money doing Barrows even at a lower level. All right, let's talk about an underappreciated boss. Actually, this boss is used by a lot of high levels and actually a lot of hardcore Iron Man, or just Iron Man in general. It's also known as the hardcore Iron Man killer, and that is the giant mole. Now, this boss you won't really be killing to make a huge profit. To be honest, most of your profit, it's going to be from the mole claws and the mole skin that you can actually trade into the farmer to get bird's nests that get enchanted seeds, and really just a bird's nest in general. And that's why it's generally used by Iron Man as a way to get the secondary ingredients for Ceridome brews. Now, this boss is very simple in its mechanics. Pretty much all you're going to do is you're going to take a light source down, you're going to pray melee, and you're going to hit it till it's dead, whether that's with ranged or melee. Usually the method is that you explosive yourself a rock cake down, dwarven rock cake down about 1 HP, wear full Darox, pray melee, and then go smack him until it's dead. Now, if you're not 75 attack, strength, and defense to wear Darox, then you can just wear, your typical prayer gear with a whip and Dragon Defender or a D-Simi if you really want to. Your kills are going to take a really long time if you're using a D-Simi. But you can do that and then just pray melee and just hit it till it dies. And it's a very simple boss mechanically. What it will do though from time to time is it will bury and go to a different area of the actual caves. And in order to find it, if you don't have the Falador Shield 3, you will have to run around the caves until you find it, which does make the boss a little bit annoying. So it's usually not recommended to really camp this boss until you've done the Falador Hard Diaries, because once you've done the Falador Hard Diaries, you actually unlock the ability that your Falador Shield 3 will be a mole locator and will actually show you where the mole buries to, and you'll actually see it in the background that my shield actually puts an arrow up on the minimap of where I need to run to go find the mole. And this speeds up the kills tremendously because you're not having to spend time running around the caves trying to find the mole. I will recommend that you bring stamina potions though for this, because you will be running around the caves a lot to find the mole. Sometimes he'll bury 7 times, sometimes he may only bury 2 times, but the stamina potions will help with your running. Other than that, the only real thing that you're looking for is mole claws and mole skin for the bird's nest that you'll trade in, as well as the mole pet. That is another coveted drop. Other than that, there's not a whole lot you're really going to be getting from this. A lot of his drops really aren't that good, but it is a boss, and if you're looking for just kind of gain that rare chance of the drop at a lower level, it's definitely a very easy boss to pick up. So the last boss we're going to talk about on this list is the King Black Dragon. Now this fight is arguably probably the most difficult out of the 4 on this list, and that's because unlike the other bosses on this list, you can't really just pray against the King Black Dragon. Now, there are talks that if you pray mage, it will actually help you and reduce the damage. That is incorrect, and it's shown in the wiki. If you don't believe me, go to the King Black Dragon wiki and look it up. It says that Protect from Magic does not actually help reduce any damage from the King Black Dragon itself. And so you'll see that when I do these kills that I will actually stand in melee range. And the reason for that is because if you stand in melee range, then it gives the King Black Dragon a chance to melee you. And because of that, that is something that you can actually protect against, unlike every other range attack he does that you can't protect against. So it gives you at least an attack that you can basically take 0 damage for, guaranteed. And that's why you'll typically see, if you're ranging it, to stand in melee range. Now, what you want to do for this boss, pretty much if you've got 61 range, that's really what you need. You really just need access to a rune crossbow, so that way you can use Ruby E-bolts as well as Diamond bolts, or Broad bolts if you're using those instead. You really want to use Ruby E-bolts for the first half of the kill, and that's because the special attack So basically what Ruby E bolts do is it sacrifices some of your own health to do a massive hit to the boss or whatever or monster you're attacking based on the health remaining of that creature. Now, when the boss gets below half HP, it doesn't become worth it anymore to sacrifice your HP to do the hit, because the hit is almost rivaling what you could normally max hit anyway. So it makes more sense to switch over to Broad or Diamond E bolts. Diamond E bolts obviously do more damage because it has a chance to ignore some of the defenses of whatever monster you're hitting. So typically you want to bring Ruby E bolts for the first half of the kill and then finish off the kill with Diamond E bolts. Pretty much that's really all you need though. You need 61 range, and then if you're going to stand at melee range, which I'd recommend, then you need 43 prayer. Other than that, don't really need a whole lot else. Now, you will get hit quite a bit. This boss does hit pretty hard. Some of the coveted drops are obviously you can get the Prince Black Dragon, so you can get a pet from it. You can also get a Draconic Visage, which is nice, or even a Dragon Pickaxe. Obviously, a Dragon Pickaxe is less than a Draconic Visage, but it is still a drop nonetheless. It also drops 2 Dragon Hides and a pair of Dragon Bones. So pretty much if you have a looting bag that you get from killing anything in the wilderness, then you can just use a lever to go out into the wilderness, put some stuff in a looting bag, then hop back in here and extend your trips. Now, if you have 70 attack and defense and strength, then you probably want to melee this instead with like a Zamihasta instead. But if you don't, then all you need is 61 range, and you can range this boss and you'll get a couple kills. You won't get a lot of kills, but you'll at least get like 1 or 2. If you have a Black Dragon task, you can also wear a imbued Black Mask or an imbued Slayer helmet and get that extra bonus as well while killing this boss. But pretty much that's it. It's a very simple boss. It's a very introductory boss for PvM, and I'd recommend people do it. It's probably the monster that's going to give you the chance for the highest reward, but it's also going to cost you the most damage and cost you the most just based on supplies in general. So it's definitely probably the hardest one on this list, like I said in the beginning, but you do have the highest chance for reward, or you do have the chance for the highest reward from this boss as well. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys found it enjoyable, or at least gave you some ideas on, if you're a lower level, what all you can really start off doing when it comes to PvM. Because I know a lot of people really want to start getting into killing bosses. People want to start getting that thrill of like getting a rare drop. So hopefully that this video gave you some ideas on some lower level PvM you can do to give you that kind of thrill of a rare drop, whether it's a pet or a high ticket, high value item. So with that all being said, hopefully you guys did enjoy again, like I said. If you did, go ahead and give the video a like. If you want to see more of my content, I make a variety of things on this channel, whether it's suggestions, guides, update videos, whatever, progress videos. If you want to see more of that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you want to give me any feedback, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. And, well, yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Links to my CC, Twitter, Twitch, and Discord will all be in the description below. And with all that being said, you guys have a great rest of your day, morning, night, whatever time of day it is, and I will see you guys in the next video.